Alrighty, guys. So I had to get me a snack because I forgot that it was Taco Tuesday. Y'all, we are going through a heat wave here in Arizona. And forgive me because I don't have any lighting. The lighting is poor, but focus less on the lighting and just focus more on what I say. What about that? I know some of y'all get so carried away with other stuff and forget about what's said, let alone what is written. Okay. So the question may be, right? Well, I know the question is for many people in my predicament, like, how did you become homeless, right? Where's my chapstick? Because I need to put something on my lips. I don't know why I would even put chapstick on my lips when I'm about to eat a taco and drink a drink. You know what I mean? But you know when your lips is just dry? Your lips is just dry. Alright, let me go ahead and get my little napkin here so I can protect my garments. And then let me extract my drink. Ooh, that is cold. That is cold. Okay. All right, so give me just 1 second here, please. All right, so the question may be, well, how did you become homeless? How did I become homeless? Let me tell you guys something. Okay, let me try to keep it simple without going into what's in my book. So you guys see me here, right? I can't explain what people see in person. And therein lies the problem. So in my complex, I was there for like over 6 years. And in that 6 years, the landlord took a shine to me, right? He was a white gentleman. He was fine too. Back then, let me go ahead and make this clear. When Gail was a sinner and her landlord took a shine to her, he was fine. He was a good looking man. He was a good look. I know good looking men. And he was one of them. And so through process of time, people started talking about us because of, how he would treat me, right? Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me just take a bite. I gotta take a bite. Okay, so he took a shine to me. And like I said, he was fine. And I was a sinner. I was like, I don't care if you married, you can get it. I was of the frame of mind, if I gotta share you with your wife, I can do that. Nothing ever happened between us, but I could see that it was going there. And so could other people because of the way that he treated me. And so a lot of people in the complex did not like that. But nevertheless, so because I would not bounce the way he wanted me to, he's gonna go and throw me out, right? And the way he did it, I'll admit, you got me, sucker. You got me. I overlooked that. Touche. touche. But guess what? I'm on my way to make sure that's changed. Nevertheless, so he would not renew my lease, right? Dirty. And so nevertheless, so you're gonna go and end my lease. Fine, you got that right. Go ahead and do that. And hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. So nevertheless, during that time, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Whatever I wanted, I got out of that man. And mind you, I'm a sinner. This is talking about when I was a sinner, okay? We're not talking about today. We're talking about the past, the old man. Whatever I wanted out of him, I got out of him. I can't explain it, y'all. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what people see on the YouTube, but I know in person, it's a thorn in my side. Nevertheless, it was to the point where people thought that we were having an affair because of the way that he had treated me. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. My children hated him. Ooh, they hate. I have not ever heard the things that my children said about a man the way that they said about, they hated him. They couldn't stand him. And I would tease them because I knew how much they hated him. I knew how much they hated him. So I would tease them. I'd be like, don't talk about your stepdad that way, you know. And they would go off. They would just say they would just be in a rage. F that, F, you know, that white F, you know, and it was just like it was just crazy to me. I just couldn't understand their reaction. They just hated him so much. And yet he was good to them. You know what I mean? He was, you know. He gave them their own apartments. I just, you know, I just couldn't understand. We'll talk more about that another time. But nevertheless, so people thought we were having an affair, right? Because of this closeness that we had, you know, myself and my landlord that used to be fine. At that time, he was fine. He was fine. Today, look, I had to clean out my email, y'all. And you know how, like, people put an image on their email. So when I was cleaning out my email, I was like, what are these emails doing in here? So I was like, oh, that what he looked like today? Y'all, it's true. They age like milk. I was like, but I kid you not. He was fine. He was. He used to be fine. In a matter of that, it's been so little years. How can you go from fine to that? Anyway, so hold on, y'all. Okay. So, you know, like I said, my husband is not saved. And my husband is about that action. And so the life that my husband, like, man, I'm talking about snipers in the trees. Like, nevertheless, we'll talk more about my husband another time. But nevertheless, so he didn't renew my lease. And like I said, my children hated him. They just hated him. And my position from where I stand right now is that, you know, when I look at certain generations, I'll say, certain generations wish they had the type of suffering that I experienced, or somebody in my age category experienced. You know what I mean? They wish they had the hard knock life. You know what I mean? And for me, in observing my children, they wanted that. But you don't have that experience. Me and your dad have that experience, not you. You know what I'm saying? And so they wanted that experience of, you know, granted, they have had some experience in the streets. Some of my children have. But other than that, the things that me and my husband experienced, they haven't experienced, you know. And so in this situation, like I said, there is, I don't know what people see when they meet me in person. I can't explain it. I just know that it's a thorn in my side. But nevertheless, so my children hated my landlord with a passion. Oh man, they hated that man. They hated him. And from my observation and everything that's transpired, because of this bond that I was, you know, establishing with my landlord, that, you know, like I said, everybody thought we were having an affair, to the point where people would call me. They'd be like, hey, can you call him and ask him if he can do that? Why would you be calling me to ask him that? Why would you, you know, why would you come and tell me that he told you this? And why, you know what I'm saying? But that's, you know, where it was heading. And my children believe that too. I really do. I really believe that my children thought that we were having an affair. That's why they had this hatred toward him so desperately. And, you know, today, I believe it was, if nobody, you are not permitted to have happiness. You are not. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. No, wait, somebody is going to love you? Somebody outside of us is going to love you or take care of you or treat you nicely or do all these things for you? No, we're not having it. You know, that's, you know, what my take on it is today. And so I will say this, I will not ever see my children again. I will not. And so nevertheless, so he did not renew my lease, right? And so I had gotten a storage before, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you guys this. Even if you have a home, even if you have, you know, an apartment, or you're sharing space with somebody, whatever the case, make sure you maintain yourself a storage, no matter what. Keep it, no matter what. And so I ended up staying with my youngest son, right? And that didn't work out. And so I said this: I will live in the street. I'll sleep in my car before you think that you could ever disrespect me. Ever. And and that's exactly what it is. And it doesn't help. I always say this, it doesn't help. It doesn't help to hook up with a band of gypsies, because then they really show you the ropes. So in this journey, there's some things that I learned. One of the things that I've learned most certainly is that freedom becomes addicting. So it's not so much that I had to be homeless. You know what I'm saying? Because I made enough money not to. You know what I'm saying? It was just the idea that I was free. I didn't have to deal with anybody on the side of me. I didn't have to deal with anybody. I didn't have to deal with nobody. I could just come and go as I pleased. I was not stuck to anything, anybody, any place. I could just come and go, and I did. And so, like I said, in maintaining a storage, my homelessness, was one angle of homelessness that is out there. A lot of people can't do homelessness like I did homelessness, and one of my friends said, "Gail, you make homeless you make homeless look too good." That's just me. I don't know. I'm just an organized person. That's just me. So there's videos, and I'll show it, and I'll post them in time, and then I'll explain to you what's happening in these videos. But nevertheless, so maintain a storage for yourself at all times. Now, I got me one of the bigger storages. In fact, I think I got one of the biggest at the storage facility. I think there might be one bigger than mine, just by 4 feet. But mine is large enough to have held my cars and my books and my clothing. And so in this, like I said, when you're a sound and stable person, of course in the beginning it was a little bit rough, because I kind of forgot how to be homeless, you know what I mean? But it didn't take long for me to figure out my routine and to stick with it. And so we'll go more into that type of stuff, but I want to share with you guys something that is valuable for those of you that may currently be in the situation, or considering, just living freely. So let me go ahead and show that to you now, because I got to get back. I am tired. I got to get up early and do what I need to do. So hold on, let me get situated. One more time, when I show you guys this, you just have to work with me on the lighting, because it is what it is, okay? But the point is still there, okay? Okay, so you see how my windows have a slight tint to them? So I'm gonna go around, and then I'm gonna turn on my light, okay? I'm gonna turn on this light. So this will work for cars, especially if you already have a tint. It'll work even better. So what you're gonna do is get yourself a glad bag, a trash bag, black preferably if you have black tinted windows. So what you're gonna do, is you're gonna cut them out to the length, width, depth of your window, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna wet the inside of your window. You can do this while you're sitting in the car, which is what I did, because let me tell you something. Being in your car, what draws attention is those shiny, I'll show you. This is what lets people know that there's somebody, likely homeless, sleeping in their car. This shiny stuff. So for my car, it's red on the outside. You can put this on the windshield. That's perfectly fine if it's on the windshield. But when people notice that there's a car with a bunch of this shiny on all the windows, oh no. You asking for trouble at that point in time. You sure are. Because let me tell you something, society is not kind. And we'll go more into that. But, okay, so let me show you what is easy. So you're just going to take like a flat card, like a credit card or a debit card or whatever, any kind of card. And so let me move this over here. I'm going to move us over here where you can see. So, okay, so you see the window? Hold on, I'm trying to not let it fall. Okay, so you're gonna take a spray bottle like this, keep one with you, and you're just gonna wet the inside of the window, right? Then you're gonna take your bag that you cut out and just line it up with the window. And then you're just gonna tuck it in. And you can do this on clear windows also, as long as it's black. Like I said, you can do this sitting in your car, okay? So now I'm gonna take you guys back to looking through the window again, okay? So now we're gonna go back over here. And we're looking at my window again. Okay, now I'm gonna go around and turn on my light. Okay, so I hope you guys could see the difference. Now imagine two of these, the same thing. So when the sunlight is out, this looks pitch black. And that makes all the difference when you are in your car. Because the public, hold on, sorry, I need to adjust myself as I'm looking. I see that my dress is kind of looking wonky. They don't want to see all that silver. That silver that I showed you guys, that's the first clue you're dealing with somebody homeless, somebody sleeping in their car. That is the red flag. That is draw the attention over here, and then you causing yourself some problems. So when the windows are black, you don't know what's going on in there. You have no clue. You can't tell. Just a normal car with black tinted windows. Nobody knows that you got them blacked out with a plastic bag. That's the whole point of it. And so you just do that. And the other thing is that when you roll out, look. Let me show you. When it's time to roll out from wherever you're at, let me show you. And just wipe it down if you want. And then look. And then I would just stuff it under the seat. It doesn't take up a lot of room. You know what I mean? Like, nobody knows what this is. So nevertheless, that's a little tip for you guys. You know, all that silver, you know, the thing about it is you don't want to draw attention to yourself. That's the whole thing about it. The other thing is you have to watch out for the no trespassing signs. So I'm going to show you a video of a video that I took of what society does not want to see. And I told you the story of this woman too. Those videos where I was talking about the little old lady, that was her. That was her. And there's an entire, I'm going to show you my car. Okay, hold on. Let me just close the door so you can just see. This is all people saw. Hold on. This is all people saw. Just a car parked. And when I have the windows blacked out, nobody knows what's going on in there. You see what I'm saying? But for this woman, and I'll post the video, that was not the case. And it's an example of what society does not want to see. And the different type of treatment that comes with the two different types of looks. Just put it simply. So nevertheless, so I trust that has helped somebody. Like I said, keep one of these with you. And that's all you're doing. You can get yourself one of those little mini squeegees, but you want to make sure that you do it. I mean, you don't necessarily have to tuck it in, but I like to tuck it in because during the day, when it gets hot, it dries out. And then if you have the air conditioning on, you know, or the wind is blowing or whatever the case, then it'll blow the bag off of the window. But get yourself one of these. And then, like I said, all you're doing is just spraying the window and putting it on. Let me show you one. You're doing it from the inside. It makes a huge difference in what people can see. It's just like a wrap. You're basically just wrapping your window. That's all it is. From the inside. Oh. Of course, the wind is blowing right now, but you saw the demonstration. And that's all it is. That's all you're doing, basically. So, all right. I trust that helps. All right. Have a good night, everyone. We'll talk more about this whole process, this whole experience, and the things, the tips and the things that I'll share with you guys that are currently in this or thinking about just, you know, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, it's the freedom that's addicting. It's the freedom that becomes addicting. So I kid you not, it is the freedom to do what you want, freedom to go where you want, freedom. You're not stuck anywhere, you're not tied down, you're free to come and go as you please. You're just not bothered by anybody. And so in this whole experience, that became addicting to me and for many people, because I was out there with career-minded people. I'm like, what are you doing out here? Like, we don't want to be stuck in that garbage of paying rent. We don't want to be bothered, and there's a lot of people that just love the freedom of it all. But you must be careful. Like I said, you heard what people said about me in those interviews. They're like, I never would have guessed, because the way I was doing homelessness is not how everybody else does homelessness. Like I said, maintain yourself a storage, and then I'll also show you guys what I had in my storage as well. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye.